This is the kind of event that gets your heart racing. A truck lost a tire while speeding down the highway, yet it didn't slow down immediately. How did the driver keep the vehicle stable and minimize the risk of an accident? Let's break down the full story. The truck lost two tires in separate incidents. Despite its high center of gravity, it never tipped over, not even a slight wobble. That alone is remarkable. When the first tire came off, the driver briefly tapped the brakes before turning off the brake lights, and the truck's speed barely dropped. This was actually the correct response to a blowout, as slamming the brakes could have been dangerous. During the second tire loss, increased friction on the left rear wheel should have caused the truck to veer left. However, instead of drifting left, the vehicle smoothly steered right. The reason? The driver made a quick but subtle rightward adjustment, counteracting the force pulling left. In the end, the truck's stability was thanks to the driver's controlled braking and precise, light steering. Why didn't the driver stop sooner? Wouldn't an earlier stop have ensured a smoother and safer halt? To answer this, we need to consider the dangers of stopping inside a tunnel. Tunnels are dimly lit and enclosed, making sudden stops highly hazardous. A vehicle stopping abruptly inside can easily trigger a secondary accident. If a crash leads to a fire or smoke spreads, traffic inside the tunnel could come to a standstill, putting countless drivers at risk. That's why stopping in a tunnel is strictly forbidden. The truck only slowed down near the tunnel exit clearly. The driver was determined to get the vehicle out first. It was obvious that he had already moved to the right, waiting for the perfect moment to leave the tunnel. Even in the final moments, as the axle scraped against the pavement, sending sparks flying, he didn't give up. Using the truck's last bit of momentum, he managed to glide into the emergency lane. That kind of determination is extraordinary. Anyone who has seen the devastating crashes caused by reckless highway stops or the deadly consequences of tunnel fires will understand where this truck driver fought to get his vehicle out of the tunnel and into the emergency lane. This wasn't just about protecting his own truck, it was about safeguarding lives. Without a doubt, he minimized the accident's damage. His expert handling of the blowout, maintaining speed, making subtle rightward steering adjustments, countering the vehicle's tilt, and his choice to pull away from traffic, exit the tunnel, and reach the emergency lane are lessons worth remembering. This is a seasoned driver we can all learn from. At a highway entrance, a white SUV attempted to change lanes, or rather, it almost drove straight into a dark-colored SUV. But the dark SUV's driver saw it coming and managed to avoid disaster. If you watch closely, you'll notice his brake light. She was already prepared. The moment a driver spots danger, there's always a brief reaction delay before they can take action. This suggests the dark SUV driver was already on high alert before the white SUV even started merging. How did he predict it? They call it strong defensive awareness. Cars at highway entrances often make rapid, consecutive lane changes, especially near a merging zone. Drivers should always be extra cautious of vehicles entering from ramps. If a ramp vehicle is speeding or making aggressive moves, it's best to slow down and be ready for the possibility of multiple lane changes. In this case, the dark SUV had no room to escape without early anticipation. A crash would have been unavoidable. Some might wonder, could the dark SUV have avoided the situation by speeding up instead? First, consider the road conditions. It was approaching a curve, meaning visibility was limited. If the dark SUV accelerated and suddenly encountered congestion ahead, a rear-end collision would have been almost inevitable. Second, the right lane had a slow-moving white car, while the white SUV from the ramp never touched its brake. Wasn't it concerned about rear-ending the slower car, unless it had already planned multiple lane changes? If the dark SUV sped up and the white SUV did the same, the slower white car might still have forced its way into the lane, but now with even less space, making the situation even riskier. That's why, while accelerating might seem like a proactive solution, it actually creates more uncertainty. In situations like this, slowing down remains the safer choice. After narrowly avoiding the crash, the dark SUV driver was understandably shaken and faced an imminent risk of rear-ending another vehicle. Most people in that moment would slam the brakes in panic, but notice how he quickly released the brakes and avoided oversteering. That smart decision helped stabilize the vehicle almost instantly. His ability to control the situation is something worth learning from. When a vehicle starts swaying, as long as there's enough space, minimal braking is often the best way to restore balance. On highways, you often see a certain type of driver moving fast, never tailgating large trucks, never getting stuck in congested clusters, and constantly overtaking. But how skilled are they, really? This accident puts that question to the test. Let's first examine how it started. Before losing control, the gray sedan swerved right, then left, then back right again. It turned on its right signal only to veer left once more. Clearly, something was wrong with the driver, possibly distracted driving. If you ever see erratic behavior like this on the highway, the safest move is to distance yourself immediately. Now, why did the black SUV escape unharmed while the video car, despite maintaining a seemingly safe following distance, still got caught in the accident? Was the black SUV just lucky? Let's break it down. The video car was following a large truck on the left before switching lanes in front of it, staying within its proximity the whole time. You might ask, what does that have to do with the crash? Well, consider this: why didn't the video car brake in time? Or rather, could it have stopped? No, because behind it was a large truck. As we know, trucks can't brake suddenly. You're forced to choose between rear-ending the car ahead or getting hit from behind by a truck. So avoiding a truck collision is often the safer bet. So, despite having enough space, the video car cowed and slammed the brakes, revealing the hidden risk of staying too close to large vehicles. Meanwhile, the black SUV made a clean, quick overtaking move. Some might assume it was just driving fast, but actually, speed was the goal it was positioning. Notice how, after passing the gray sedan, the black SUV didn't accelerate further. Instead, it eased into a safe distance behind traffic ahead. The real strategy: always maintaining an open buffer zone, ensuring room to maneuver in every direction. That's the crucial difference between the black SUV and the video car. Simply put, the black SUV minimized its time stuck in traffic clusters, whereas the video car remained trapped longer. As a result, the SUV drastically lowered its chances of getting caught in a bad position. It avoided the accident not by luck, but by smart positioning, staying in an open, unrestricted, and strategically safe driving space. Beyond that, the black SUV showed excellent driving habits, always signaling before changing lanes, never squeezing into tight spots, and executing swift, controlled movements. Even after passing the gray sedan, it slowed down just enough to maintain a safe falling distance. When the car ahead turns on its hazard lights, there's almost always a potential danger ahead. That's why, when overtaking, spotting flashing hazards is a clear sign to pause and reassess. Looking at this situation, we can see barriers stacked on the left. Had the video car tried to overtake earlier, it could have been a serious risk. The truck continues flashing its hazard lights, indicating that more trouble lies ahead. Sure enough, the road on the left is collapsed, making overtaking completely unsafe. There's no doubt the truck driver is an experienced and thoughtful professional, using hazard lights to continuously warn the video car about upcoming dangers. Even further down the road, the truck's hazard lights stay on, signaling ongoing risks. And right on cue, there's a stopped vehicle ahead on the opposite side, along with scattered debris, once again proving the truck's warnings were spot on. Eventually, the truck turns off its hazard lights, meaning the road is now safe, and overtaking is an option. At this point, the video car hesitates, perhaps after facing multiple obstacles. The driver is reluctant to change lanes. Seeing this, the truck driver takes an extra courteous step, shifting slightly to the right and turning on the right signal. A clear gesture letting the video car know it's safe to overtake. Picking up on the signal, the video car moves into the open left lane, confirming the truck's assessment. So what defines a veteran driver? This truck driver demonstrates it perfectly. First, keen awareness. He doesn't just focus on his own path, but constantly scans for surrounding hazards, including the behavior of vehicles behind him. Second, effective communication, using hazard lights to warn of dangers, signaling when overtaking is safe, and effortlessly coordinating with fellow drivers through simple but meaningful gestures. Third, strategic positioning while helping others stay safe. He also ensures his own vehicle remains clear of potential risks,